Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to go to Hiroshima once again. This is the second of the two beers that I brought back from my trip down there with Michiko a few weeks ago, and we're going to go to Miyajima Island, which is a very well known tourist destination actually, and you'll see on the label of this one the kind of Miyajima Shrine. This is one of the three most kind of sought after or most well known views, I guess you would say, in Japan. It's a really nice little place actually. You can go on the cable cars and go all the way up the mountains and stuff. It's a really beautiful place. But this is the Miyajima Beer Pale Ale. Comes in at 5%, as is the case with most beers that you're going to find in Japan, and it should be quite interesting. It was actually pretty lowly rated when I checked it out on Rate Beer. It had 12 overall and 24 within the style. It's an English style pale ale apparently, and we'll see how we get on with it. It's always cool to try things from these little microbreweries that are kind of jumping up across Japan. So yeah, it should be an interesting review. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from Miyajima Beer. I'll probably go back down to Hiroshima the next time I'm over in Japan, but do make sure you check out all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel, and if you're particularly interested in Japanese beer reviews, go into the channel homepage and simply search Japan. The whole channel is based on geography, so you can search any country, state, city or whatever, and all the reviews from there will pop up. And you can check out Casey and Eric's channel, Sotogami Akihabira, two very nice American guys from Tokyo who have a channel dedicated to trying Japanese craft beer. Their videos are really fun, so make sure you check them out. The link to them is in the description below as well. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Miyajima Beer and the brewery itself. So Miyajima Beer is owned by Shigeki Arimoto, whose family have owned an inn on Miyajima Island for about 20 generations. Miyajima is maybe about half an hour's drive or so away from central Hiroshima. You go on the tram and go away down to the port and then take the ferry across to the island, and you can see the shrine as you go across on the boat. But Shigeki had actually worked in finance for many years and returned to Miyajima to run his family business back in 2009. Upon his return to the island though, he found that many of the local businesses on the island were really not doing very well, and from then on he decided to devote himself to aiding the economic growth of the island, and so in 2010 he officially established Miyajima Beer Limited. And he'd actually become a fan of beer after tasting the Anchor Liberty Ale from San Francisco, of course one of the kind of cult classic American breweries, but he saw brewing beer in Miyajima and actually having a local Miyajima beer as one of the ways of kind of spreading the Miyajima name around Japan as a tourist destination, and for also promoting local products as well. And it seems to have had some success so far, although I was quite surprised when I read that Miyajima was struggling economically. It is a rural community, of course, but you know, it's the shrine is very famous, so I was really surprised when I actually read that about this brewery. But yeah, it's the local beer from there. I think it's quite hard to find outside of Hiroshima itself. I bought this in one of the little tourist shops on the main street in Hiroshima, just close to the dome actually, the same place that I bought the Kuri beer that you saw me review a few videos ago. So yeah, I didn't actually buy this one on the island. I should have bought it on the island, but I saw quite a few of them. So if you go to Miyajima Island, make sure you buy a few of the beers. Just to list the other ones you can get from these guys then, there's the Weizen, there's the Pils, and then there's this guy here, the Pale Ale. They've also got several seasonal beers. I saw a Dunkel, a Doppelbock, a Weizenbock and things listed on the website and on the Rate Beer profile. I think they had a stout and things as well. So there's quite a few beers that they produce, but I believe the three main ones are the Weizen, the Pils, and the Pale Ale, of course. That's quite a common thing when it comes to Japanese craft breweries. So yeah, that's enough about the brewery, so let's actually get into the tasting of this beer itself. I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we open it up. I'll just bring the camera up and let you see it. There you can see the famous Miyajima Shrine. These beers apparently are available in cans as well, but this is, I think the artwork is different for each one. They've all got different famous things from Miyajima, but of course this is the famous shrine. You can see it's got one of these kind of generic bottle caps that you'll find in Japan. This label did get a little bit damaged actually when I was moving the bottle back. It got a little bit torn, but you can still see what the idea is, and you can see this is the symbol of Miyajima here. I think that is a maple leaf or a sycamore leaf. I think it's more a sycamore leaf actually. or maybe a Japanese maple leaf. But yeah, the leaf symbol, of course, is the symbol of Miyajima Beer. And this one should be quite nice. Like I mentioned to you, it's a 5% English style pale ale. So without further ado, let's get it open and we'll get it into the glass and see how we get on. Hopefully it's kind of as good as the Kura beer that I tried. I was actually really quite impressed with that Kura ale when I had a go at it. So we'll sugar up the last little bit and try and get a bit ahead on this guy. And there you are. So in terms of colour and in terms of head and things, it's poured almost exactly as you would expect of an English pale ale. So as you can see, a half finger of a frothy, slightly kind of creamy coloured head on this one. Some big bubbles of carbonation sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few of them going up towards the bottom of that head. There's a little bit of sediment floating around in this one, but there's quite a lot of little bubbles going up towards the bottom of that head. But I would say in terms of colour, this guy is quite a rich golden amber colour. Looks quite nice, so let's have a little look at the aroma and see how we get on then. Yeah, so quite bready I would say. There's a good bit of citrus, kind of grassy floral note coming out of this one. Does actually smell a good bit hoppy I would say. But yeah, there's some bready character in there, a little bit of caramel, you know, the sort of usual biscuity, grainy things that you would expect from an English style pale ale. A little bit of earthy hop I would say too. But the hops are interesting because it's kind of herbal and sort of vegetal I would say. Definitely a herbal hop, but you can get a good bit of citrus I think coming out of this one. It's almost like a green apple, but slightly lemony citrus at the same time. That's the main things I'm getting from this one. But bready, sort of biscuity I would say as well. But yeah, you know, it has kind of exactly what you'd expect. It almost has a little bit of a yeasty characteristic to it as well, a sort of banana yeasty thing going on. But that's unusual because it's supposed to be a pale ale. So yeah, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one. So it's bready, like I said, a little bit of banana, some biscuity kind of grainy things going on. I'm only getting the yeast after my nose is adjusted to it actually. But yeah, as I say, the hops are interesting too. It's kind of floral, a little bit kind of grassy too, but it's an interesting kind of vegetal thing going on in this one. So yeah, let's have a look at this one and see how we get on. So this one is the Miyajima Beer Pale Ale. Comes in at 5%. Kampai, make sure you go and check out Miyajima Island. Now, this is quite strange because, to me, this beer actually tastes like a Weizen. Yeah, this really doesn't taste like a pale ale. I do wonder if they've put the wrong beer in the bottle for this, to be honest with you. Because it actually does taste like a Weizen. That's really, really strange. It's not like an English pale ale at all. But look, on the bottle, you can see it clearly says English pale ale, or it says Miyajima Beer Pale Ale. It's not a Weizen, but it really does taste like a Weizen. This is very unusual. Yeah, this is certainly by no means an English pale ale, not a chance. This beer really does taste like a Weizen. So I'm wondering if they've put the wrong label on this one. I really am, because it's, you know, it's the malt base that's given away as a Weizen. You've got that bready character on top of that. You've got some of this banana yeasty sort of thing going on, and I'm not getting the biscuit or the kind of grassy thing. You can detect it in the aroma, which is strange. And I do wonder if maybe they're using the Weizen yeast strain for this, because you can get a little bit of that a sort of grainy character in this one. So it's an unusual Weizen, but really the banana characters and the sort of big yeasty bready thing really does make it taste like a Weizen. Yeah, unless my taste buds are going absolutely dead or dumb or whatever, this really does taste like a Weizen. That's really unusual. Yeah, I really am getting these kind of banana sort of yeasty characters coming out of this one. So the middle of your palate, you've got that bready character that just blankets it. On top of that, you've got some of these thicker kind of yeasty things going on. Bit of banana in there. There is a little bit of the sort of clovey, peppery spice thing going on. But I can get some, as you move into the aftertaste, you start to get some of the more bready, not bready, sort of biscuity, grainy things that you expect from an English Pale Ale. Yeah, really, as you move into the aftertaste, you start to get a little bit more of these biscuity sort of caramel things, but on first taste, it really does come across as a Weizen. That's very, very unusual. I'll stick with that statement, and I have to say, I really do wonder if they've put the wrong label on this bottle, because it's certainly not an English Pale Ale. Definitely not. I'm pretty sure I'm drinking a Weizen, unless I'm going absolutely mad. But, yeah. So, on the hoppy side of things, there is a little bit of earthiness in the back corner of the palate, but for me, that's very minimal. It's a bit floral as you come forward. There is a little bit of herbal character, I will say that about this one. There is a little bit of a kind of herbally character in there, but it's quite floral as you come forward, and then around the front curve of the tongue, it is a little bit grassy. As you just go behind that front curve, there's a bit of the kind of citrusy, sort of lemony character coming out of this beer. But really, I've said it a few times, this is no English Pale Ale, it's a Weizen. There's no doubt about that. If I was to blind taste this, first impression would be that it's a Weizen. As a Weizen, it's actually pretty decent, especially in terms of one that you're going to find in Japan. In terms of Weizen, it's actually a pretty decent Weizen. In terms of an English Pale Ale, nah, definitely not. So, I'm really unsure of what to say about this one, because as a Weizen, like I say, it's pretty good, but if it's supposed to be an English Pale Ale, then they've gone very, very wrong somewhere. There's no there's really no doubt in my mind. If you try this beer yourself and you've got any sort of seasoning as a beer drinker, you'll know right away exactly what I mean when you try this one. That malt base is a Weizen malt base. It's not English Pale Ale at all. So, like I say, as a Weizen, if it's considered a Weizen, this beer is actually pretty good. But if it's an English Pale Ale, something has gone completely and utterly wrong with this beer. So yeah, just think about that if you get the chance to try this one. In terms of the mouthfeel, I would say it's mid-bodied, carbonation is pretty smooth, you get a little bit of dryness from the hops, especially as you move into the aftertaste. The malt base has a good little bit of sweetness to it, it's big and bready, it is like a Weizen malt base like I was saying, and there is a little bit of kind of juicy fruity character. It does actually get quite dry as the aftertaste progresses, I would say. So overall I would say just be aware with this one, unless they've mixed the labels up of course. I would say if you buy the Pale Ale, you're actually going to get something that's more like a Weizen, which is, you know, kind of unusual actually. I think this beer is brewed at Niigata Brewery, but I read that their Weizen is produced somewhere else. So I'm a little bit, I don't know if maybe, if Niigata Brewery of course are a good brewery, so I don't think they're going to mess it up. I do wonder if it's something to do with the labelling or something like that. This is just really unusual. It's supposed to be an English Pale Ale, but to me it really comes across as a sort of take on a German Weizen. As a Weizen, as I said, it's actually pretty decent, but as an English Pale Ale, something has gone seriously wrong there. So this is one of the more unusual beer reviews that I've filmed for you on the channel. This beer just does not match the label at all. So yeah, I don't know what more to say about this one. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed the review. Thank you once again for watching. If you have tried this beer yourself, do let me know in the comments section below. I'm very, very curious to know whether this is just something to do with the label or whether this Pale Ale actually does taste like a Weizen. That's very, very strange. It's never ever happened to me before when I've reviewed a beer. It always says the style on the bottle and I'm like, yeah, that's right. This is the first time that something like this has happened. So I do wonder if there's something wrong with the labelling, or if it's just something's gone completely wrong during their brewing process, the wrong yeast strain or something like that. So do let me know in the comment section below your own thoughts on this beer, or if you've had a similar experience with it. Let me know what your favourite beers are from this brewery, and let me know a kind of general thought on the brewery as well, and hopefully I can review some more of their stuff and see how I get on with that. Who knows, I might try the Weizen and it comes out as an English Pale Ale. We'll see how we get on. But thank you once again for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Go and check out all my social media. make sure you check out Casey and Eric's channel, but most importantly, make sure you go and visit Miyajima if you find yourself in the Hiroshima area. Hiroshima itself, of course, is a really nice city as well, despite there being a very kind of awful thing happened there. They've rebuilt it really nicely. It's somewhere that I'd highly recommend that you visit in Japan. So yeah, make sure you check out Miyajima, and I will catch you soon with some more beer reviews. If you want a good Weizen, try the Miyajima Beer Pale Ale. Kampai just now. Slanje.